Hello everyone and welcome back to GM Details. There's something that I don't really see a lot of on YouTube, tyre dressings. Now we're going to explore just exactly what a tyre dressing is, how to prepare your tyres for that dressing, and various different types of tyre dressings that you may want to choose. But first up, we have to clean the tyre. Now my tyre cleaner of choice is this one from Autoglanz. It's called Rebound. It's been around for a couple of years now and it's utterly fantastic for tyres. Them that know, them that haven't tried it, don't know how good it is. You could use a standard wheel cleaner if you like. Your favourite wheel cleaner will also clean tyres, and also a high powered all-purpose cleaner. The trouble is with all-purpose cleaners is sometimes they can just take that little bit too long, maybe 2 or 3 passes before they'll actually clean the surface of the tyre completely. Now cleaning the surface of the tyre, this is what we're doing. We're absolutely scrubbing the life out of it here with the Tough Shine brush. Now that's not only removing the previous dressings that you've maybe had on it, but it is also trying to remove any contaminants that have become embedded in the tyre wall. That could be something like tar or brake dust or even fallout particles, much the same way as you would do on removing them from your paintwork or on your wheels. Then using a dedicated tyre cleaning product and a good stiff bristle brush, give it a good working round, and the tyre, as you can see, turns brown. That's in effect you're removing those contaminants, removing the dirt and grime. The next time you clean it, if it's white foam, it's generally cleaner, and therefore the cleaner the tyre, the better the bond of the tyre dressing will be. Now if you're worried that any of these products may well dry out the tyre, cause premature cracking or anything like that, if your tyres are in good condition, under 5 years old, and you're using these products which are specifically designed for the purpose, then you're not going to run into any problems whatsoever. And in my research, I've found an article from VR Design, and they've actually said that any household chemicals that you use are going to have no detrimental effect to the tyre whatsoever. Stronger trade chemicals, however, may have a detrimental effect, but only if used frequently and in large quantities. And as you can see there, I've only used a couple of sprays, and also it's not a mega strong industrial chemical. And VR Design go on to say that the last point is that the only component in the making of rubber that could potentially make the suds turn brown or black, apart from the contamination, is carbon black, which is a component which makes up a very large part of the rubber, and is a stable part of the rubber that isn't removed by normal cleaning. So I hope that clears that up. The next part of the process for getting your tyre dressings to bond a little bit better is to have your tyres dry on application. Now you can go around the entire car with a drying towel if you like, but the thing is the tyres are in contact with the ground, and if you're rubbing a good drying towel around the bottom half of the tyre, then you're going to pick up some contaminants on your drying towel. So a good pet dryer comes in extremely handy. If you don't have a good pet dryer, then you could always steal the Mrs. hairdryer. So if you remember my review of Go Detailing products, I'll put a link in the top right hand corner for you to check out, and in the description below for you. This will just be a quick recap on the application of the product, and of course a good longevity check just to see how well it's fared over a month's use. So if you remember back, this is Go Show Tyre's solvent based high gloss gel formula that's supposed to treat and seal the rubber in one application with results that will last weeks. So we're going to test that and see if it has. And the little application brush here that I'm using is from AliExpress from China. It's actually a makeup brush for applying wet cream, I don't know. Anyway, it does alright on tyres and applies the dressing quite nicely within all those little grooves and stuff. It's kind of left it a little bit sort of patchy, shiny with the silicone. I don't know whether that's the brush that's at fault or the user. It's the first time I was using that. If you want to pick up one of these little brushes, I'll pop a link in the description for you. It's only a couple of quid. So this is the first in the sort of comparison between two different products. We have a silicone dressing, which is GB Detailing Onyx, versus the new SIMPLEWAX TYRE ARMOUR, which is a water-based polymer dressing. That's all I know about it so far, but with the name of TYRE ARMOUR, I'd expect it to have some sort of longevity, so I've put it up against the silicone dressing from GB Detailing. Just let's see what happens. So SIMPLEWAX TYRE ARMOUR first. I've cut up a sponge into little squares just so that I'm not cross-contaminating any of the products. So I'll just dot some around the tyre just to give a nice even coverage, and then I'll work it in with the sponge. Now with it being water based, it's incredibly easy to distribute around the tyre and works in very easily. Now as with most tyre dressings, you can layer them to your own requirements. With this one, particularly from SIMPLEWAX, it says that if you're wanting to layer it, to leave it to cure for about 10 minutes or so just before you apply subsequent layers. Doesn't need any buffing off, it will dry and cure to a clean, non-greasy, rich finish. So each one of these dressings, we're just going to give it a single layer just to keep everything on a uniform level. So that's TYRE ARMOUR applied. Let's move on now to GB Detailing's Onyx. The first time I tried Onyx was around 4 years ago. Anybody care to guess what kind of car I was driving about in 4 years ago? Leave the answer in the comments below. But anyway, Onyx itself is a very light silicone dressing, I have to say. It's very easy to apply. It's almost like a water-based dressing. It's actually one of the reasons why I picked it to go alongside the TYRE ARMOUR, simply because of its simplicity. But the ease of application with this little bit of sponge that I have here is just amazing. It's coating on so well. The definition of the lettering and the numbers of the tyre there is just really quite impressive. And this is one of the dressings that I found back 4 years ago to have really good longevity. So I'm looking forward to see how this goes up against TYRE ARMOUR. And keep watching because we'll see an update just shortly. So now with tyre conditioning products just becoming just that little bit more popular, I thought I would choose two separate ones. We now have on the left Garage Therapy Tyre Serum and on the right SP Pro Tyre Glaze. So the first to be applied is Garage Therapy 1 Tyre Serum, and we're going to use the tyre valve as a little bit of a guide for us here. So from the left hand side of the wheel we're going to use Garage Therapy, and on the right SP Pro Tyre Glaze. So another completely fresh piece of sponge, just again to avoid any cross contamination. I've put a little bit more on than usual because it's the first application on a fresh, newly prepared tyre. Really, it's not really had any dressing on it, I don't imagine. The car is just over a year old really, well probably nearly 2 years old now actually, and I don't think in its time it's ever really had a great level of care taken with the tyres, judging by the staining on the side of them. But Tyre Serum has taken to the tyre quite well. Now you may find that on your first application that the product actually absorbs straight into the tyre right away. Garage Therapy actually recommend 2 coatings on the tyre anyway, but for the purpose of this test we're going to stick with the 1. But if you want to find out more about Tyre Serum, I'll pop a link up the top right hand corner for you to check out my review. It's a long term review based over a 3-month period. Now purely reading from the SP Pro website here because I haven't got a chance to use this yet. I got this in a collaboration box from CarChem. Obviously they have their own brand of CarChem, but they also have SP Pro and VP valeting products, a range of stuff that they make. So this was really a mystery box that you could pick up, and this was in one of them. So it claims to offer pretty much exactly the same sort of conditioning effect that the Garage Therapy Tyre Serum does, except for one thing, it's an incredibly watery product. Now generally speaking, my experience with water based products are they don't really last too long. But I'm not going to judge it. I haven't used it before, this is my first time, so in this longevity test it'll be coming up to see just exactly how it compares against the Garage Therapy Tyre Serum. And finally, what can you just walk into a store and pick up off the shelf? These two products are available in Halfords. On the left hand side we have Auto Finesse Revive, which is advertised as a trim restorer, but most tyre dressings are trim restorers anyway, and of course Maguire's Endurance, a firm favourite for many. Now this tyre doesn't look as though it's been cleaned, but I can assure you it has been scrubbed exactly the same way as all the rest of them. So another fresh piece of sponge and another fresh tyre dressing. Again, another solvent one, I'm sorry, but this one is just a little bit thicker. And the thicker the solvent, it's a little bit more difficult to work in. I said a firm favourite with most, because I think most people actually start off with this one. They go into Halfords, see what sort of new products they can pick up for their new detailing hobby, and the tyre gel certainly sticks out as the best available off the shelf products that you could possibly pick up. Well, that's how I started anyway. I think Maguire's Endurance actually has one of the most love-hate relationships with any person that you speak to. They love it to begin with until they learn a little bit more about what's available out there. Then they start to hate it and it goes to the back of the cupboard, and occasionally, very occasionally, you bring it out for just that someone's car that you don't really like, but you want to give them that glossy look to their tyres and see them on their way, and that uses up the product rather than throwing it away. Or is that just me? So there we have it. Finally managed to get one half of the tyre coated in Maguire's Endurance tyre gel. Let's move on to Auto Finesse. I'm really breaking out these little sponge sections. These are great actually. 3 sponges for £1, and you can just cut them up and they make excellent tyre applicators which you can just throw away afterwards. Or put them in a plastic freezer bag and then you can keep using them time and time again until they disintegrate, then it's time to throw them away. That'll certainly be a little bit more environmentally friendly. Now, would you believe that these two products are the most expensive ones that we're trying? Well, there you go, that's retail for you, isn't it? So I'll just read out for you what it says on Auto Finesse website. Auto Finesse Revive is a silicone based trim dressing that brings life back to your exterior plastics, or rubber in this case, while being water resistant. The solution darkens and restores colour to the plastic trim, leaving behind a subtle satin finish that is dry to the touch and will not run off in the rain. Once applied, this advanced formula will help to protect plastics and rubber trim from future fading, with durability that exceeds conventional water-based dressings. Its silicone polymers help to shield the trim from damaging UV radiation and instant hydrophobic properties that help to repel weathering. They also make Revive resistant to regular washing, maintaining a factory fresh finish week after week. So the longevity claims possibly the same for plastic as rubber. Don't know about the rubber because obviously the rubber is continually moving around as you drive, but we'll see how they both fare over the next month. After 2 weeks, Go Detailing Show Tyres has lost most of its gloss, and really we're just left with the blackening effect. You could see the browning effect that we had in the tyres beforehand, and we've still got a dark coloured tyre, and it still looks quite new rubber, which is still an improvement based on what it was before it was applied. Now, these results may differ to what you might get. This car doesn't really travel a lot of distance, and it isn't driven fast either. Now, with Onyx and Tyre Armour, there's quite a difference there. I've put markers on just to show where the control areas are, and as you can see from the left hand side of your screen where we have Tyre Armour, doesn't look as though there's anything there, but from the right hand side there's still that darkening effect to the rubber. And I know it's a silicone based dressing as opposed to a water based dressing, but really if I was paying money for a water based dressing that had tyre protective qualities or a sort of sealant like qualities, I would expect a little bit more from it really, if I'm honest. And now what's probably going to be the most interesting point of the video is the tyre conditioning products. Tyre serum and tyre glaze formula on this angle are barely distinguishable from here, but this angle, the left hand side tyre serum does look a little bit more richer and, dare I say, newer looking. Is it just a trick of the light? Is it just the angle that the camera's looking at? We'll see how we get on after 4 weeks. And the two branded ones from Halfords, I'm pleased to say they're still performing quite well. You can see very clearly from the control area there the difference in the two. So yeah, nothing much to report on them, still going strong. Go detailing show tyres unwashed for 4 weeks, and looking at the side profile of the tyre, it looks quite good. It's still got a darkening effect to it and there's less obvious signs of any dirt or mud sticking to the tyre. When we look at it from a different angle though, the tyre does look quite grubby. SIMPLEWAX tyre armour and GB detailing Onyx. Now just pause the video here. Study this picture. Where would you place tyre armour and where would you place Onyx? And I'm going to move these little cards to each side of the tyre and see if you are right. Let me know in the comments below. The Onyx dressing just having kept its darkening effect, and also it's kept the tyre cleaner looking over the last 4 weeks too. It's just a shame that the same couldn't be said for the SIMPLEWAX tyre armour on the right hand side. Tricky one this one due to the lighting conditions. You would actually think that the left hand side was slightly darker than the right hand side, purely down to the light. This is the tyre conditioning products wheel. Now if you remember, we split the wheel diagonally across where the tyre valve is, and on the left hand side of that we have GT Garage Therapy tyre serum, on the right hand side of it Smart Polish Pro tyre glaze formula. So here we can't even see the dividing between the tyre valve where we had, I know the control section was such a minuscule amount, probably about an inch, but there is something there because the tyre does look a lot better. You can see where the mud and dirt around the edge of the tyre is more prominent, but the tyre itself actually looks very good. So both products there still performing quite well. And last but no means least, the two Halfords products, Auto Finesse Revive and Meguiar's Endurance Tyre Gel. Are they still there? Doesn't look like it. So for the next test, what we're going to do is give them a clean. Now these tyres haven't been cleaned in well over 4 weeks, and I'm dying to see what Garage Therapy's Zero Decon can do as a tyre cleaner. And I've heard and read on various different forums that it makes an excellent tyre cleaner diluted at 10:1. And we're going to use this soft Atlasta brush so that we're not scrubbing too deeply. We just want to take the surface dirt off, but possibly leave what's on underneath it. So let's see how we get on. So still in order of application, we've got Go Detailing Show Tyres after being cleaned with Garage Therapy Zero Decon, and I must say that was absolutely phenomenal using that. It's cleaned the tyre up brilliantly. And I think that the colour of the foam signifies that the dressing has been removed, so we're now back with an absolutely clean, pristine tyre. Well, I say pristinely clean until the wife went to the shops and back and came back with all this leaf scatter rubbish. That's autumn roads for you though, isn't it? Anyway, so Go Tyres, what did I think of it? Well, I don't really think it was personally for me. I didn't really like the black glossy look to it, but it did give a darker look to the tyres, I'll give it that. And anyone for a show car or a black car that wanted to show off the tyres in line with the black gloss wheels or whatever, I think it would work as a really good dressing. Just not for me really. Yeah, so GB Detailing Onyx, an absolute favourite of mine. You can see clearly those lines are still there on application from the dressing to the control section. Highlight that for you. This may be a little bit clearer for you on this side. Just there you can see the darker, and then you have the control section in there. Really good. On the SIMPLEWAX tyre armour side, a little bit less noticeable, but still there. Apologies for the dirty car, remember it hasn't been washed in 4 weeks so we can conduct this test, but look at GB Detailing Onyx on video on the top section there. Clearly see that division between the dressing and the control section. Just there. Thanks Graham. So let's have a look and see what we can see with the tyre armour. You can clearly see there the little control section. Yeah, that's Onyx again. Now we don't want to see Onyx again, but we do want to see Onyx again. It's a really good dressing, but we want to try and get the, here we come, there we are, there is tyre armour. Now again it's a little bit darker. There's that control section again. You wouldn't want that horrible browny type horrible rubber, so the tyre armour does help keep the tyre blacker, but it doesn't actually help it repel dirt and dust. Yeah, that's the line there for it. Thanks again Graham. So there is your dividing between tyre armour for you. Let me know in the comments below which one you would choose. Now onto the tyre conditioning products on this one, and it's not a great photograph. After cleaning it doesn't really show too much about what's going on with the tyre. Let's turn to the video. So as we look directly at the tyre, the bottom half of the tyre in this picture is the Garage Therapy tyre serum, and the top half is the SP Pro tyre glaze. Now I think we can see from this straight away that there's a little more dirt still, or staining possibly, on the top half round about where the tread area is. Bottom half with tyre serum I think just edges it ever so slightly for me. Not bad though, the two of them. That's after cleaning with Garage Therapy tyre serum, and the closer you get to it, that is the tyre glaze down there for the tyre serum. Now remember, only one coat, it's really recommended you have two. That isn't bad though. And finally, tyre number 4. This is the Auto Finesse versus the Meguiar's Endurance tyre gel. Now we can't see the dividing line between the products and the control sections on this, so again let's click on to the video. That's better, so the video is going to give us a better true definition. So if we take a closer look in where the control area would be just above the tyre valve, and there's no evidence really there of any marks or any shadowing, any darker areas from the product, so it looks as if the Garage Therapy tyre serum has wiped them clean, ready for a new dressing to be put on. So that brings us to the end of the video. I hope it's been of some help if you were really looking to purchase some tyre conditioner or dressing, or whether it be solvent based, water based, and I hope it gives you some idea as to what you might look for now. If you want to check out any of these products, I'll put links of where to buy them in the description below, and if you're lucky there maybe will be a discount code for you to use next to it as well. Now do bear in mind that the longevity of these products will be different for everyone. Different rubber compounds, different driving styles, and even down to environmental conditions can all affect these products. Thanks for watching, till the next time, cheery bye.